Oh, sorry, Kelly. Do we have Tana? Do we have Tanya? Ah, ha, ha. Always making an entrance. That's that's all fine. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the May 21st, 2025 Special Events Team Meeting at the City of Boise. We have 3 events today, 1 new event organizer and 2 who have been with us for some time. So I'm going to just take a little bit more time at the beginning with the intro so that folks are all on the same page. So my name's Maria Wegg. I'm with the Office of Community Engagement here at the City of Boise. The Special Events Team is an administrative function convened by the City of Boise to get event organizers and all of the organizations and agencies throughout the Valley together in one room just to talk through safety and security, event plans, traffic control, everything that is needed to put on a safe, fun, healthy event in our community. Obviously, as our community is growing, we've had much more kind of movement, closed streets, construction. So you never quite know what the footprint's going to look like. So it's really helpful to get folks together in one room to ask and answer questions. We don't make any decisions at this meeting today. We don't sign off or not sign off or say yes or no to anything. It really is just kind of a coordinating function meeting. So we have events come up one at a time, present their event plans, and then go around the room and let organizations and agencies ask any questions they may have and have event organizers do the same. It's a great opportunity to do so. So a couple of reminders, it is a public meeting, so watch your P's and Q's. Don't use any language you wouldn't want your grandmother to hear. And the only way that the system picks up the audio is to use the mics. So event organizers, just make sure there's an on and off button on the mics. And so that will allow the system to pick up. And every once in a while, the press does. I'm surprised to hear my voice on the radio the next morning when the press has picked something up. So I think that is all of my reminders. Do we have anybody online today from our team? Okay, so what we'll do first is go around the room with introductions. So you all know who's at the table. We'll start with ACHD.
Tanya Motisi, Ada County Highway District.
Ed Graves, Public Works.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Connie Ward, Risk and Safety.
Dinko Milkovich, Central District Health.
Abby Berg, Downtown Boise Association.
Heather Zeitlin, Community Accessibility Program Manager.
Joey Eccles, Boise Parks and Rec.
Joe Bethman, Boise Fire Operations.
Jesse Tapper, Boise Fire Prevention.
Cameron Colos, Boise Police Department.
Matt Konvalinka, Boise Police.
Taylor Gomez, Boise Police.
Rachel Holford, City of Boise Emergency Management.
Kelly Frank, Office of Community Engagement.
Yeah, I imagine Steve will come in. Steve from the state is oftentimes with us and he may come into it. If he does, we'll let him introduce himself. All right, first up, Kana. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay, great. Welcome to the city.
Hello, Kana Old State Saloon.
Hi, my name is Mark. Mark, Old State Saloon.
There we go. I'm Mark, Old State Saloon.
Okay. All right. Mark and I are presenting for the Heterosexual Awesome Festival in Cecil D. Andrus Park on June 20th and 21st. I know we've gone through some of these on the at the safety and security meeting. Would you like me to elaborate on those as well? Okay. And then the slide forward is which button? All right, so basically it's a pretty typical festival. We've got live music on our main stage. We have speakers that are coming out to talk on a variety of different topics. We will be live streaming the entire event during the speakers and during some of the conversational aspects of it. We do have, we're working on getting an ASL interpreter. It's largely vendors, retail vendors, food vendors, bounce houses, and just music. It really isn't very complicated of a festival. So I've got a little bit of a new layout. The map here is showing that because we ended up determining last meeting that we would shut down Bannock entirely, we've had such an influx of food vendors. So I wanted to add a couple of more food trucks because we are expecting a big turnout, both inside and outside the park. So I'd like to add those along that south side of Bannock, and the number of food trucks would be more contingent upon the length of each truck and trailer, because obviously we need a minimum of 10 feet between them, and they're all different lengths. So we've got that information, and I can get that to Joey as we get closer to the date. We'll have the exact lineup of where all the vendors will be. Inside the park, basically 50 vendors or so, not too much. We needed room for, we've got like 7 bounce houses, really the main attraction. And then of course our main stage, which is relatively small. It's our Old State stage, it's 12 by 24. We have a VIP booth. We are doing the alcohol catering. So we've centralized ourselves. That will be right up next to the walkway, where accessibility will be key, because we can have one row where specifically will be catered to anybody in wheelchairs or with any needs that would require them to stay on that pathway. The porta potties, so we've got 2 banks of potties and wash stations that are going there. They are on Capitol Boulevard in order to maintain that accessibility. And so we pulled out the perimeter fence to encompass that as well. So you don't actually need to leave the event to use the restroom. The info booth and the lost kid, all the medic, we've discussed that, and that placement is very strategic for an easy exit. And then speaking with, Conrad and Vince helped me determine that that's the best place for the dumpsters. So we have that, got all the meters locked down. And then still working on the Tesla being our source of power for the live stream and for our mobile office. The rest of it, the sound and lights, because of the continuous draw and just the 12-hour day, we will be using diesel generators for those. So that's the basic layout of the map. Is it working? All right. So we have the public lots that are available for parking. We did, like I said, reserve all of the meters surrounding for load in and load out, the shutting down of the street, and the food trucks. We've got Treasure Valley Traffic Services that are performing our traffic services plan. It's still not working. And this is that traffic services plan. As you can see, it's very comprehensive. This will be the load in and load out procedures for the vendors. Any vendors that are on the grass area will come in through Capitol Boulevard. The food trucks will go in whichever direction, depending on the side of the street that they're parked on. Actually, sorry, that map is a little bit incorrect in that the perimeter goes on the other side of Bannock. It doesn't. It's just going around the food trucks that are on Bannock. But you can see where those breakaway points are. All of those are places where the vinyl fence will break away and can be resealed with resealable zip ties. So that's for loading in and out and emergency types of evacuation. So that's about 1,200 feet of vinyl fencing around there. And as you can see, we've avoided any crosswalks so that we don't inhibit like the pedestrian traffic. We have our communication plan that we go over with our staff and our volunteers every day. The, ultimately, without getting in too much into the minutia of the details, we will defer to law enforcement basically every time if there's an issue. We know we've got MAV that is going to be the first line of security. We also have our private security, but everyone's been instructed to communicate with MAV and with law enforcement directly. This is just kind of some of the responsibilities that we have. None of these are different from the safety and security meeting last week. Oh, do we skip that medical plan? Or, oh, no, we didn't. Okay. The incident response. So the majority of this also is the same from the last meeting. We do have the catering permit that's been submitted, everything that, we've got the perimeter fence, we have the wristbands, all of our staff is tip certified. We've got the security that will monitor alcohol going in and out. So none of those entrances will be more than 20 feet in length. And we've got 2 to 3 staff at each point to make sure that no one walks out with that. Our medical services plan. So based on the conversation last meeting, we determined that we would go ahead and bump up the medical service plan to the ALS service with MAV, so that we'll have an EMT on site the entire festival, both days. And then we also, in our info booth / lost kid tent, we'll have water and ice packs and cooling fans and different ways that we can sort of mitigate that heat, which I think will be the biggest issue with medical first aid would be heat stroke, because it's going to be nice and hot. And then of course, all the regular protocols with 911. MAV security. So our first line of security is MAV. We have the 3 security staff, 1 security supervisor, the entire festival. And then we've got 2 overnights, both that Friday night and that Saturday night, because we're loading out on Sunday morning. The crowd management and event control, basically just that communication aspect is really important. The walkies, the cell phones, we've implemented the 3 words as requested. And so those are all things that the staff will be briefed on to discuss with any emergency services or law enforcement, so that they know where these things are taking place. More procedures for what to do in a unplanned incident, disruption. We do have, of course, the stage PA system. And as I mentioned last time, we have the mobile PA that is battery powered. So we will be able to make announcements regardless of what's happening. And we have different people that will be in charge of pulling those things out and getting them prepared for the conversation that needs to be had with the public. Same thing. This is a controlled evacuation versus an emergency evacuation. Again, it's just the direction of law enforcement will take precedent over everything. The staff is instructed to come to me or Mark first if it's a non-emergency scenario. And then, of course, we just involve law enforcement, who should have a presence at the event. I know we're waiting on that CUP approval, but other than that, we've submitted those requests. And then the emergency evacuations with, no, you're good. Thank you. Questions for lost guests and child procedures. The specific information that law enforcement and everyone will need to identify that child. And then, of course, one thing we definitely have plenty of is volunteers. So we'll have a lot of eyes the entire time on everything. And then what happens when we find them, and we always obviously direct them to the found child booth. Our trash plan has the recycling dumpster and the trash dumpster placed up there in that upper northeast corner. We do have 15 recycle, 15 trash bins that we're borrowing from Republic, and we'll put those out. the park's too small for a golf cart, so we just got a couple of all-terrain wagons. We will continuously empty those out. And again, with all of the volunteers and help that we have, I think it'll be easy to stay on top of that. With our restroom and sanitation plants, we have the 16 portable toilets in 2 separate banks with the wash stations. We've got 5 of those. 1 unit not included in the 16 is going backstage, and 1 hand wash unit will also be backstage for event staff and bands and artists, and just another emergency restroom on that side of the park. All right, and why Hetero Awesome? I'm gonna let Mark speak to this.
All right. So last summer we did Heterosexual Awesomeness Month at Old State Saloon, and while there was some negativity in response to that from people, there was an overwhelming response from people across the country and across the world, actually, of people who thought it was a great idea to dedicate that month, or for people who want to celebrate a different kind of sexuality, God's design for sexuality. And so that support was tremendous. And I talked to many people who diverted from their vacation plans to make sure that they came through this area to come by Old State Saloon and to thank us for doing what we were doing there. And so now here we are about a year later and looking at the same thing. And a lot of people have been calling through, the last several months saying, are we going to do Heterosexual Awesomeness Month again? And I said, for sure, we're going to do that again at Old State Saloon, but also we're going to do this 2-day event, and it'll be a great thing where we can get together and have a positive festival that would be family friendly with children. So we have these highlights up here: support for local businesses. Of course, there's going to be more foot traffic in the area. This is a free event. We're not charging for, so you have that experience for everybody where they don't have to pay for anything. There'll be meaningful conversations happening, both from people presenting on the stage, but also people who are going to be there walking around, some of which are I guess you would call them like internet influencers and things like that. So there'll be people who are probably coming to meet some of their favorite influencers that'll be there. We have, and those influencers will also be presenting. So there'll be some educational opportunities for people who will get to witness those presentations from the stage. Due to that change of like the country kind of looking, there's like a pendulum swing happening where people are kind of coming back and saying, hey, we really need to focus on traditional family values. And so there's some opportunity for cultural enrichment there and Boise being the place that can host such a fest, it shows that we're open to these different ideas for people to get together and talk and celebrate these things. It's of course a tourism attraction. I already know of many families booking trips to come into town for this event specifically. And then obviously promotion of family values, which is kind of the whole point, and honoring God's design for sexuality. I'm also here to answer any questions that anybody may have. So thank you.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks. So it was a very thorough presentation. Appreciate you touching on all of those bits and pieces. And yeah, we do the safety and security meetings and then have the larger team too. So it's helpful to go through all of those things again. Steve's not here, so I'm going to go ahead and ask his question first, so that we have that as well. Have you also reserved the capital steps for the day?
We did, yes.
Okay, great. And then I didn't hear, are you still expecting around 1,000 people?
Yes, at a certain point, the security will have to limit the amount of people in the park because we'll simply be at capacity. That's my estimation of how many we can fit with that amount of vendors and that amount of bounce houses.
Gotcha. No, we just like to stay updated on that. And I know probably our public safety officers are just going to want to keep an eye on that as well. It's just a normal question.
Sure.
It's just a normal question that we ask.
Hey, absolutely. And as it's not a ticketed event, it's really tough for us to know. I mean, we can definitely keep you on top of like what we're hearing in terms of people coming into town specifically for this event. And then also I think that we'll get a better idea once we are able to sort of let people know the lineup of speakers and bands.
Sure.
We should
Yeah,
have a better
no,
idea.
that's a great point. Just with new events, it's really difficult because you don't have last year to point to say, oh, last year we had X number or X number. And so it's helpful just to like stay in conversation about that. That's great.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll start with ACHD.
Hi, guys. Thank you for your presentation. I have everything I need from you at this point. I'm pending review of your traffic control plan and your approved CUP from BPD. You will need permits for your dumpsters, and I can help you with that this afternoon.
Okay, fantastic.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, first, thank you for reaching out early as far as the trash plan. I know you reached out to Conrad and he CC'd me, so that's always helpful. So thank you for that. Do you know alcohol served in cans or cups, or do you know?
Yes, so primarily we'll have cans. We will also have bottles that will be poured into cups.
Okay.
That was the concept. And then cups for the wine.
Okay. Cool. And then, yeah, thank you for distributing that vendor low waste guide. So yeah, both merchandise and food, if you could. Yeah, just get those to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thank you. And then, yeah, just a reminder for the recycling containers that you'll borrow from Conrad, and the trash ones, try not to put the recycling ones alone, like kind of pair them with the trash. That's just
Gotcha.
kind of best practice. And then how many volunteers do you have for all the trash and recycling to handle all that? I mean, do you know?
Probably about 15.
15? Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Last thing, yeah, just when you put your recyclables in the dumpster, loose, just don't put them bagged in there.
Not bagged.
Does that
Oh,
make
okay.
sense? Yeah, you can throw the liner
Excellent. No.
back in the
Okay.
trash, but yeah, but that's all I've got. Thank you.
Good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for the presentation. Like Tanya said, I'm just waiting on the ACHD permit to have the dumpsters in the right of way. Your dumpsters are scheduled, so we're good there, and we've got the meters reserved, so we're good there. But to Maria's point, I just want to point out, like, first time events, it's really hard to say, like 1,000 patrons coming through, it was perfect for 8 yards. If you end up with 10,000, might have more trash than what you have dumpsters for. So I just want, in the back of your mind, be thinking about what you're gonna do if you do have too much trash, because like we said, it's first time event. We really don't know, like,
Sure.
as
Sure.
far as,
Yes, our contingency plan is Mark's large dump trailer.
okay,
So we'll come by and put the people in there and get the trash out. We'll take it away.
great, thank you. Yeah, one last thing about the boxes to have around the park and the recycle cans. I just want, I can't remember for sure if I pointed this out in the email, but you'll need to come to my office
Yeah.
in West Boise to get those.
Yeah, we'll arrange that a day or two prior and then bring them back on that delivery date.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Kana, thank you very much for all the calls and the emails and the clarification. You've been wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate that. We are set to go on parking. We have everything set up and we are ready to go for you. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, we have your certificate of insurance, so we're good.
Okay.
Good morning. We have all of your required documents, the notification of the event. You mentioned you're probably going to expand the number of vendors that you're going to be hosting at the event. So just do us a favor and provide us an updated list as soon as you have it. And then another quick question. Are the food vendors going to be set up on Friday and start selling and serving food at the start time of the event?
Yes, they should, all vendors should be ready to go by 2 p.m. Although I was going to ask them to be ready a little bit earlier for our walkthrough.
Okay.
Prior on Friday.
Got it. Thank you.
Good morning, Kana and Mark. Nice to meet you. Thanks for presenting. We are going to ask that you guys return neighborhood notification paperwork for this event.
Yes.
It's in the downtown core.
We do have it. Yeah, I've got someone who's
Perfect.
going to start hoofing it next week.
Awesome. Just keep in touch with me if you need any assistance since it's your first time filling out that paperwork. My inbox is always open, and then we'll just keep in touch offline.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you both.
Thank you for submitting that accessibility review of the information. So did you decide for the beer garden to you move that closer to the path for accessibility? Is that what that was?
That was our initial thought when we placed it there. It kind of always had been there for the lines to come up through those pathways. In general, I did see the tracks that you sent.
Mhm.
This next week, me, Bounce House Guy, we're going to go out and do real specific measurements so that we'll have a 2-scale map, and that should give us an idea if we would need anything like that. I'm not thinking that we do, just because the layout's very nice right there when you put a little booth. We can serve from all 4 sides, but the one that is directly facing that path will be easy for anyone with accessibility needs to get to the booth.
Okay, that's great. And then those food trucks are on the street so people can get down onto the street to access those?
So the food trucks that are on the north side of Bannock Street are within the confines of the perimeter fence, and then the food trucks that are that I like on the south side will not be inside the fence. So people can be in the actual street, which is closed down, and access those trailers, and then people within the event can access the trailers that are within the perimeter fence.
Okay, so just making sure when you're putting those fences up that you're not blocking like the cutouts so people can get down to the
Yes,
food truck.
absolutely. And yeah, one of the maps kind of has that dialed in terms of just making sure that all the ramps, all of the crosswalks, there's nothing that's impeded.
Okay, great. And then your first aid and that relocation for the kids area, that's all on the sidewalk access.
The first aid, yes. So there is sidewalk access to that first aid because we have enclosed the opposite side of Capitol Boulevard with the perimeter fence. So that entrance and then the breakaway right next to that medic station would allow easy accessibility. I mean,
Okay.
that'll be a super simple thing to bypass.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for the presentation and also all the updates and communications with the kind of event footprint. We'll continue to work together with the final vendor counts and the little updates in the parks. But other than that, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Now we look good. Appreciate you upgrading your EMS plan like we talked about. So thank you.
Sorry, I can't hear you actually. Well, it's just kind of echoey.
Everything looks good on our end as far as your medical plan goes. I appreciate you upgrading, although this is your first year. I appreciate you guys working with us and thinking ahead and getting ahead of that and doing a little more than may be required. So thank you. I think Jesse has some questions on access egress, and I'll let him address those.
Yeah, for good presentation. Thank you for the communication last week. You guys have been excellent in that area. I see you have your fire permit in, so that's looking good to go. I just want to talk about Bannock there. I mentioned it before the meeting. Is your fencing, I just want to be clear on this, is it going to go around the ones on the south side of Bannock?
It does not.
It's not going on those, okay.
No,
okay,
it does not
okay.
cross the street.
Okay. Like I said before, I think we're okay with this as long as there is a literal 20-foot fire lane through the whole thing on Bannock. Okay, if that can't be achieved, we would prefer the food trucks on the south side be somewhere else if that's possible. So can you guys maybe think about putting them in different locations other than Bannock? Maybe on the East Fork of Capitol, do you think you could fit some in there?
Yeah, that definitely could be an option.
The reason I'm saying this is because we have a low-rise building there. We have several buildings there. We have fire department connections on that side of the road. Huge generators in the basement there. We just have a lot of fire concerns with those buildings. Like I said, I think we can do this if the spacing is good and we have that 20-foot fire lane, but we would prefer them not be on the south side of Bannock if it's possible to move them somewhere else.
Okay, I definitely next week when I do the fine tuning measurements, I can discuss that with you and tell you what we've determined, like what we found.
Okay, perfect. And then I loved your Tesla power plan. Thank you. That was so detailed. That was I went over it with the fire marshal, and we're good to go on that.
Excellent.
And again, I don't care where the Teslas are, just as long as they're 25 feet away from the stage, 25 feet away from any bounce houses, and just accessible for us to pull hose lines to access them if there is a problem with the ones you're using for power.
Yes, understood.
And then if we could, I think I said this before in the safety and security meeting, I just want to remind you, the fourth exit available at 6th and Bannock. You can have it closed, but just have it readily available to open if we need it.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
there's definitely a breakaway point there,
Yeah.
more than in other places. We'll do one every 10 or 15 feet.
10 or 15 feet. And so can you just go over again the breakaway points, because you're using zip ties, you said.
They are releasable zip ties, reusable zip ties. So it's
Okay.
got a little tab on it, and you can pull them out, and then you can pull them back closed. I'm not concerned with the general public accessing the breakaway points. We've got so many eyes, so many volunteers, private security, paid security. So it won't look like it's easily done. It'll look like zip ties. We will know, all of the security volunteers and law enforcement will know that they pop right off.
Okay. I just don't want to, if we have a lot of food trucks there, a lot of grease. I want to be able to move that fencing quickly. I mean, we can get through zip ties, of course, but it slows us down. So I don't want firefighters to be pulling 200 feet of fencing if we have a food truck on fire to get to it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We can also use those little quick release bungee balls. Was another thought we had.
Okay.
There's so many options. We can definitely come
Okay.
up with one that
All right.
that fits your
We'll talk
needs.
about that further.
I'm gonna do a go back. Can you hear me okay?
So
Not on. There you go. I'm gonna do a go back on your food trucks. If you guys can seriously look at Capitol Boulevard, I think it'll save you some time and energy too. I
Okay.
think if you put them on that south side of Bannock, you may have to commit some personnel and time to policing that location as far as keeping stuff out of the right of way and things like that. So I would highly encourage you to look at that spur of Capitol, possibly put them in there just to save you some time and energy.
Sure. I had liked the idea to have food trucks outside the perimeter because at a certain point we may have to start turning people away. And the protesters will also need to eat. So we did want to make that available, but I'm open to anything. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll move them.
that's all I have. Thank you.
I've got your alcohol permit, so we're set there. I'll approve that as it gets closer, just in case there's any changes made. I'd like to do it maybe 2 weeks in advance rather than now. Just a couple of reminders on the vinyl fence. If we're using vinyl, just make sure its structure is good. We've talked about that, that it's not flopping over or, spacing on the posts is too far apart. And it just kind of renders it ineffective if we do that. And then something that gets missed a lot is just the no alcohol beyond this point signage. Just make sure it's at all of your entrances and exits and posted, just to assist your security staff. Other than that, I'm good to go. Thank you.
Okay.
We will get you the PLA within the next day or two. We're set there. I'll go along with Jesse and Jonas. It would be easier and more secure if you're able to move those food trucks on that east leg. Plus, I think it would cost less as far as barricades go for you. The fire department likes to keep things open. I like to keep things closed. So it's kind of that east leg works the best. I think if you can do that, that'd be perfect. We'll get you that though.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning. Nice to see you guys again. Thank you for the great conversation during the safety and security meeting. And we see all the recommendations in the plan, so it's beautiful. Thank you. Big kudos to you guys in upping that medical. It's always nice to have that extra on site. So I'm just going to wait for that updated map when you guys decide where those food trucks are going to be placed. And we get that map, we should be good to go. I'll get that all put together. Make sure that packet is also shared with all of our first responders if they need to come down there for any reason. And then I will work with you guys directly to schedule the walkthrough. We're going to want to do that right about an hour before you're going to open or 2 hours before you open. So we want your setup to be as close to done as possible. And then we just kind of come down as the same group you already met with. We look at everything. If anything needs to be tweaked, we do it together.
Okay. That sounds great.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. I don't need anything either, so I'll just watch for the map and get it dispersed.
Okay. Sounds great.
Great. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stacy, Carly. Jordan, welcome back. Another season of opera in the park.
Hello, welcome. Introductions. My name is Carly Oppie. I am Development Director with Opera Idaho. And
I'm Fernando Menendez. We know how to use microphones.
Fernando, I
Supposedly.
did not think you were Jordan. I was like looking down, like this doesn't seem right.
I'm Fernando Menendez. I'm the Marketing Director at Opera Idaho.
And a bass baritone this morning, apparently. Stacy Trentisto, General Director of Opera Idaho.
not present is Jordan Mashila. She has been working with us as event coordinator, and she has literally saved my life and sanity. She wasn't feeling well this morning. The fifth annual Opera in the Park concert is on Saturday, June 21st at Julia Davis Park. It is free for everyone to attend. Yes. And Opera Idaho's mission,
Not free for us.
not free for us, yeah, which is part of the reason we were a little late submitting. We had to secure some funding. And Opera Idaho's mission is to produce professional opera across the state and foster a love for the art form through education and community engagement for people of all ages and backgrounds. Our core values are integrity, community, transparency, artistry, innovation, and inclusivity. This concert is truly a celebration of what really makes Boise very welcoming. It's a true, did I already say it's a true mixture of art engagement? I haven't said that. I'm a little nervous. Okay. Art engagement. So it's a true mixture of art engagement and accessibility to the art form of opera. And the goal of the concert is to foster a sense of community by sharing the universal language of music. So the concert repertoire will consist of those songs that you didn't know you knew, like, oh, I've heard that on commercials, from opera and selections from well-known musicals. Like, Stacy, do you think you could like sing a couple of bars as an example?
Quando vengo soletta per la via, la gente sosta e mira, e la vezza mia, tutta cerca in me da capo a piedi.
Thank you.
Just to brighten your morning.
Just so we're clear, I'm not going to do that. All right. So in order to open more free seating this year, Opera Idaho is now hosting its donor engagement event off-site at White Dog Brewing. That'll be ticketed. We wanted to take the VIP out because everybody's a VIP when you come to Opera in the Park. All right. You want the next? We can do the next slide. Oh, thank you. These are the artists that will be helping us present the concert. Andy Anderson is our musical director, and he is also the maestro of the concert. We fondly call him the New York City branch of Opera Idaho because that's where he's based. Cecilia Violeta Lopez will be our main host of the evening, and local opera singer Michelle Detweiler will co-host an MC. Our four artists are all but one are visiting. Maria Belen Rivarola from Argentina, a soprano, Maria Dominique Lopez, a mezzo from Los Angeles, Isaac Hurtado, a tenor from Salt Lake City, based in Salt Lake City, and Dr. Jeffrey Sepla, baritone. He is local and teaches, he's the director of opera and musical theater at Boise State University. All right, next.
More addition.
Yeah.
I'd just like to plug that we also have the Opera Idaho Orchestra who accompanies the concert. I just want to say because they are as much part of the show as any singer is. And we are lucky enough now to be one of the smallest opera companies that has a union orchestra in the United States. So Boise's kind of special in that way that we have two professionally unionized orchestras now with the Philharmonic and the opera.
Thank you. And of course, our chorus as well.
And
so
our
yes,
chorus, that's correct.
Thanks. So we plan to have all the vendors open by 6 p.m. on Saturday, the 21st at Julia Davis Park. Downbeat, or the start of the show in opera terms is downbeat, is 7:30. It's expected to last about 2 hours, including an intermission. Our wonderful sponsors are listed on the slide. I won't go through every one of them, but I do want the city to know that this is the very first year we have gone into this concert with so much financial support. It's finally happening. Yay. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. And this is also the first year we're charging vendors to participate. We aren't charging them much, especially our nonprofit vendors, because we're like, bring your own table, bring your own chair, bring your own tent. Like, we're not going to like charge them a bunch of money for that. We are just trying to cover our costs for vendors. This year we can speak to the balancing act of having too many food trucks and then not enough food trucks. So we are confident that this year having 2 savory and 2 sweet options will suffice. Fingers crossed. We hope to add more nonprofit booths. Right now we've invited Ballet Idaho, Boise Phil, the Boise Bicycle Project, Wassmuth Center for Human Rights, LED, a dance company, and Idaho Star Motorcycle Safety Program, who will also double as our traffic volunteers. As traffic questions might come up later, but we will not shut Julia Davis down fully, but we will have our 2 motorcycle instructors in reflective gear with 2-way radios, making sure the 4 food trucks can get in and going down that wrong way on the 1-way. And let's see. All right, next slide is the map. And the biggest change this year is that, less food trucks. I mean, we had like 8 last year. The beer and wine garden is in a different place. And the goal of this was so that people in the beer garden can really enjoy the music. The other location was great, but it was kind of down a hill a little. And the farther you go back, you can hear, I mean, as you can tell, you can hear when an opera singer sings, and we will also have amplification. But having it like over by the food trucks, we think we're excited about it. It's a 40 by 40 foot space. There will be 2 vendors in there, Boise Brewing and the Egyptian Theater. Treasure Valley Coffee is also donating a bunch of water for us. So we will have a free water station that's outside of that barrier, which we fondly call the drinking cage. You can't leave it if you buy a drink there. And we will have Mav helping us with security to verify 21 with bracelets and make sure they don't leave with a full glass of beer or wine. Let's see. All right. So please mark your calendars for Saturday, June 21st for the 5th annual Opera in the Park, brought to us by the wonderful corporations and people of Boise. And I'll open it up for any questions you guys might have. Thank you for all you do. It's not easy throwing an event, right?
You guys always do such a great job, and I do love the idea of moving it a little earlier to maybe get out of the.
Yeah, I didn't read through everything on the first slide, but last year was so hot. It resulted in our lowest turnout ever, less than 1,000 people. So while I was listening to the previous event planners, they were expecting about 1,000. In 2021, we were expecting about 500 and 1,000 showed up.
Yeah.
So we're really hoping moving it to June will help reinstate that growth that we saw in 22 and 23. And then 24, everyone's like, it's way too hot, I'm staying home. And I don't blame them. It was still a great concert.
And see, no reason to be nervous. I mean, to be fair, I panic every single time I see Troy in my text messages because I feel like I'm going to have to answer a really hard question. So, we can share that in common, Carly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will start with ACHD.
Hi guys, wonderful presentation, incredible event. Thank you for the serenade. That was beautiful. This event happens outside of the public right of way, so I don't need anything from you. Okay. Thanks.
Well, hi, good morning. And yes, thank you again. That brightened up everything. So yeah, thank you.
You all don't have to say thank you. It's
No, as well.
No, it's fine. It's fine if they say thank you.
Great. Last year, did you have enough trash boxes and recycling containers?
Yeah, we did because we didn't have very many people, but we are going to go with the same amount that we had last year because we anticipated like 2,500 and then 800 people showed up.
Okay. I might work with Conrad. We might increase your recycling only because we can actually we've added more items.
Okay.
And just 3 that you're borrowing hopefully you'll get a great turnout. So I just want to make sure that there's
Okay.
enough for the attendees.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thanks for your in-depth, what you wrote for your waste reduction section on the application. That's one of the most in-depth anyone's ever done. So
Oh.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm
Morning.
gonna say it. Thank you for the sample. Loved it. So I'll just pick up where Ed what left up there. So I don't know if you got those from me at my office last year, but that'll be the plan this year.
Okay.
Okay. And that's out there on Executive Drive and 5 Mile.
Okay.
And I see, oh, it was there, the lovely map. I don't have a copy of that. If I can get a copy of
Yep,
that
you
with the
bet.
dumpster on it, that'd be great. And finally, is it Jordan or Jordan?
It's Jordan.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jordan. Okay.
Mhm.
So as far as I know, we sent a service agreement over for the dumpsters and have not received that back. So I was just
Okay.
checking on the status of that.
Yep.
We still have time, but just want to let you know, I did not see those services entered as of yesterday.
Okay.
Let me know if you need anything from there. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
That has got to be the most lively presentation we've ever had in here, right?
Arts organizations should be everywhere, right?
We're shameless.
Very good. Awesome. So as far as parking goes, we don't need anything from you, so we're all set to go. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Good morning. We have your COI, so we're good to go.
Thanks.
We also have everything we need. We may reach out to you just for clarification on which food truck Kanakatak is bringing to the event because they have multiple mobile units. So
Yep, I can get you that information.
thank you.
Hi, friends. Good morning. I'm so excited to see this event come back. I'm glad you guys are here today. You're outside of the downtown core, so you don't need to turn in any neighborhood notification paperwork. We always encourage people to notify everybody about your event anyway, but you're all set with DBA.
The Cottonwood Grill restaurant really likes to know because a lot of people go and dine there, so we'll let them know.
Good one. Thanks so much.
Hi, thank you so much for reviewing those accessibility guidelines. And I'll send you that checklist for the information to include on your website. So just people are aware before they come out. And I see, and I'm not sure where the paved seating is for the
Oh, if
band shell.
So see where the picture is. Actually, if you keep it on the last slide, it might
Yeah.
be more helpful.
Is it where your sound people are set up on that picture?
It's
It's just in front of the sound, like they're like two cement wings that
Mhm.
go in front of the band shell, and that's the area that we try to keep clear so that they have access.
Yeah, so it's a sidewalk that kind of ends in the middle of like the audience section in front of the band shell, but it's connected to a ramp off of a parking space there, and it just comes around. It's all paved.
Okay, great. So just we're not going to be
Yeah,
blocking
so-
access to that area.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
on the picture here, it looks like they are on the cement, but we haven't since moved them back a little further, just so they're not in the way of people trying to watch the show as well. So
Okay.
that area will be available for that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Carly. Thanks for all your communication on this event. It's definitely been a pleasure to work with you on this. Stacy, I'm going to say thank you just because I want you to attend some of my morning staff meetings to make sure everyone is present and alert. But no, honestly, looking forward to y'all's event and kind of working with you as we get a little closer to the event for final vendor counts and stuff like that. So thank you.
Hey, that was beautiful. Thank you. Talk to me about your medical plan. I kind of missed that one.
Oh, have we not submitted it? Oh, we should.
You can just give me an update.
Okay, so our medical plan is we do have a large number of volunteers that we are booking through Micron. And we will have everybody download the same app as last year, which I forget which one you guys, what 3 words? Yes, what 3 words? Our first aid tent will also double as, well, it'll be the info booth will be first aid where we'll have an AED present. We'll have a substantial first aid kit. And it'll also double as our lost child area. We will always have someone staffed there starting at 6 p.m. because that's when the vendors open until the end of the concert. We are using two-way radios this year. Last year, it was like the last time we're ever going to communicate with cell phone during that event. It's too hard. So we're going to either rent or purchase a comm system. And one of our committee members is a battalion chief with Ada County Paramedics, Jenny Wing. She and George support the opera very generously with their time, treasures, and talents. She has confirmed she and George will be there. I have also confirmed that my daughter's friend, who's a nurse practitioner, will be there. So we will have CPR certified people on hand, and we've confirmed that. And I don't mean to laugh. I know that a medical procedure is very important for this type of thing, especially as we anticipate a lot of people. So I'm more nervous than anything, giggling.
No, you hit all your marks. The AED with first aid is really what I was looking for there. The other thing would be that Julie Davis Drive, when you get your food trucks in there, have somebody monitor that so we can maintain access down that the whole time.
Okay.
It'll be in June. The river is down to a point where we're starting to get floaters on it, so we may need access there for rescue of some kind. So just make sure we can get down that. Thank you.
Okay, some of our favorite concert guests come right out of the river with their tube and they're like, what's going on?
Exactly.
And they just sit down and they watch it. It's great.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Good presentation. That was a beautiful musical sample, by the way. And man, you hit that last note. Well, I thought that TV screen was going to crack there for a second, but no, I have no issues with it. Just make sure you get your separate Boise Fire special events permit like you did last year. And then your food trucks, of course, need to get their fire department inspections. That's yellow stickers this year. They all know that they should have it. So just if you could communicate with them to make sure they do that, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm all set. Thanks for the great communication. Just the 2 permits from your 2 alcohol vendors whenever they can submit those, but I have everything else I need from you guys. Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you. How many BME officers do you have over there doing your traffic? Do you know?
BME.
That's the motor escort?
Motorcycle. Oh, we have asked 2 to 3 to attend.
Okay. And how many MAV personnel do you have?
2.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll run it by Lieutenant. We'll talk about it a little bit. You're getting, depending on this year, you're getting kind of large. So
Yeah.
maybe next year we need to start looking at staffing this on the police side, but I think you're good for this year.
Yeah,
I'll be in touch. Thank you.
thank you. And we are happy to add another security personnel if we need to. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Typing over here. Thank you for the plan. This is great. Yeah, you guys have turned in everything that we need. If you guys make any changes, just let us know, and then we'll make sure that gets out there. And just echo with your food trucks, making sure that that Julie Davis Drive is clear. We see that constantly get clogged, and so we will send crews through there
Great.
in their
Thank
fire
you.
apparatus, like an engine, and they will honk at people to get them to move. So it just ensures that if they do need to get in there, that maintains
A fire, yeah, a
space.
fire lane. Okay.
We had Pokemon tournament people driving through there last year.
It was a nightmare.
So much fun.
Yeah, we saw that in an email and did not realize how aggressive Pokemon people can be.
Oh yeah.
Now we know. We're so sorry.
Yeah, they just blew past our volunteers with all.
Oh, it was terrible. It was
Please-
frightening,
please-
actually.
I was gonna say, please tell me. Yeah, you had to catch them up. Let's say, please tell me somebody yelled at them while doing like opera, because that would have been amazing.
We should have. We should have that.
That shock
Probably
factor,
works
that high
better.
note. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you, guys.
I don't need anything either. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you,
Stacey,
everyone.
The best part of that was like watching while you were singing, watching all the staff who were like kind of peeking their little faces in behind you in the doorway. That was fantastic.
It was a great representation of what the art form truly does, though. It brings people in, even when you're like, oh, opera, I don't know about opera.
Oh,
It's
it's
pretty
fantastic.
impressive to watch an opera singer sing.
We're gonna have to make Freeport up their game when they come and present next time. We're like, we're expecting performances and everything. So thank you guys so very much.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Abby, Alive After 5.
I'll clip through. Hi, everybody. I think for time, I'm gonna try to clip through at a pretty steady pace. Feel free to like wave me down if you want me to slow down, but luckily this event is on its 38th year this year, and most everything is the same as normal. So I'll highlight the big things and the changes, but try to clip through. Oh, I haven't clicked it yet. Okay, excellent. Welcome to another teeny tiny map. Almost everything is the exact same as last year, just a couple notable changes. Last year, we had our first aid booth in that little corner room where the skate shop is for Glide on Grove. It's a light green rectangle on the map you see. It was a little bit difficult to see, so we've moved the first aid booth, which will be staffed by a MAV BLS unit, over into the northeast corner, so it's more visible on the entire footprint. That's notated, yeah, by that little plus. Thank you, Kelly. We also, on that map, it shows our standard 6 portable restrooms and 1 ADA permanent restroom on the plaza. We will be using both ADA compliant permanent restrooms on the plaza, and we've knocked down our other portable restrooms down to 4. For the last 2 years, the 2 in the middle just were not getting used at all. So I've chatted with Dinko about narrowing that down to 4 portable restrooms and then keeping an eye on it and upping that back up as needed throughout the season. Other than that, map is the same. Stage is at the South Spoke, booth sort of all the way around the plaza in a circle. Our 2 main bars will be staffed by TIPS certified volunteers from Jesse Tree and Wasmuth Center on the east and west side of the plaza, notated by those red rectangles. We will have more TIPS certified volunteers manning the 2 main wristbanding stations at the north and south spoke of the plaza, with some support from our 8 MAV security personnel who will be on site, TIPS certified, ready to help us wristband as well. Other than that, nothing too notable. DT Plays is in the same spot. Our info booth is in the same spot near the north end of the plaza there. Our info booth also will serve as our lost child vulnerable person reunification booth. That area does tend to get a little bit crowded during the middle of the night, so I'm going to keep an eye on it and then move lost child reunification over to the first aid booth if it starts to get a little too crowded. I think that's it on the map. Thanks, Kelly. Awesome. As I mentioned, we are working with MAV again, in addition to our 5 staff and interns who are all going to be hooked up with walkie-talkies and ready to communicate and jump in. We will have our 8 MAV security personnel who we will pull in for any security issues. All interns, staff, volunteers working behind the bars and MAV security personnel on site are going to be TIPS certified. For communication, as always, 911 is our first call in the case of a serious emergency. We will also be notifying MAV of any issues on site. For anything small, minor, I ask that communications always go through me through the walkie-talkie system so that I can notify the appropriate party on site. Next, please. Medical and fire, same communication system. Emergency personnel services contacted if necessary. Otherwise, small things go through me. We are going to keep the West Spoke as our emergency access point. The Boise Center staff, and Lauren, my boss, will all have keys to those bollards there and be ready to jump in and remove the bollards in the case that that access point needs to be used. For fire, we are going to include fire extinguishers at our info booth, by the stage, and at our DT Plays booth. All are kind of equidistantly spaced throughout the plaza. And we will be keeping a sufficient space around that hydrant on the east side and that water hookup on the west. Thank you. For accessibility, again, restrooms are our only concern. We are going to have both of those ADA compliant permanent restrooms open on the plaza, both of which have accessible sinks as well. We use our barricades to close off the Grove Plaza for this event, leaving a minimum of 4 feet clearance, maximum of 8, just to keep that balance between accessibility and making sure that MAV security has a narrow egress point to make sure no alcohol leaves the site. Insurance, I believe everybody who needs a COI has a COI. If not, let me know. We're sending out neighborhood notifications in actually 1 calendar hour with my intern team, so those are going out today. We're on to entertainment schedules, same as always. Audio sound check is going to start around 2:30. Concert proper starts at 5 and runs until 8, maybe 8:30 if they're running late. And then last and not least, public health and waste management. We will have our same trash can plan that we normally do using our own containers paired up around high traffic areas of the plaza. Again, at every ingress egress point. We, I believe I sent back my signed report. So we have our 3-yard rental. That's going to be placed in that Wells Fargo garage cage. And if I didn't, I promise I will. And then, sharing our low waste guide with our sponsors. There's no vendors other than us. We'll be selling the alcohol as normal. We'll be selling our own merch. All of our beverages on site are going to be canned beverages. No wine this year, just canned beer and some canned cocktails. Save one. We're going to have an electrolyte beverage on our NA menu that does come in a plastic bottle. I believe that's it on alcohol. Excellent. That's it for me. Any questions?
Great.
How'd I
Thank you,
do?
Abby. I am curious to hear from Public Safety on the West Spoke keyed access. It makes me a little bit nervous just because in the event of a really dramatic event, I just know about myself. If I were in a crowd and there was an active shooter system, I don't know that I would have the presence of mind to go and unlock a gate. And these guys do, in fact, have the presence of mind. So I would actually like to hear a little bit more about that from Public Safety. And if you guys are comfortable with that, I am, but let's start with Tanya.
This event happens outside of the right of way. Thank you for your presentation, Abby. Always a fun time. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Abby. I think that sounds, thanks for the canned beer. And then the plastic bottle, we can accept the real crinkly ones now. So even if it's that, but yeah, it all looks great. Thank you.
Hi, Abby.
Bye.
I was really expecting some karaoke from one of your favorite bands from the season.
We're on a time crunch. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. So you already addressed it. Like I checked yesterday, I didn't see the order, but I mean, it could have happened the time since I last checked. So I'll check again. I'll let you know if I don't have it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Abby, all the meters that you need are reserved and we're ready to go. So we're set. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Hi, Abby. We have your COI, so we're good.
You're good to go.
It looks great.
Thanks, Abby. Looks good.
Everything looks good to me. I'm sorry, I got a call going on. I'm monitoring right now. But no, you guys are good to go. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to go. Thanks, Abby.
Yep, I'm good. Thanks.
We are good. As far as the person on the west side there, it would be best if you assigned the person that will be on that side predominantly. They never leave that side of the event, and maybe practice that a few times, what that would look like with them as far as responding to that area immediately and taking care of that. We will notify the downtown team so they'll be aware of what's going on, and they'll do walkthroughs periodically. And other than that, it sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hi, Abby. It's like, you know how this works. It's amazing. No, all is good. Thanks for that. We'll just work with PD and fire, make sure they have all the information available to them. And yeah, wish you a wonderful event. I'm sure we'll see you at some point down there. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. Appreciate you, your due diligence and then your awareness on the time. So okay. Have a good day. If you need anything, let me know.
Thanks all. You make it easy.
You see how well they've trained me. You see how well you all have trained me now. Like now I'm worried about active shooters everywhere. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again. Well, actually I won't be here in a couple of weeks. So Kelly will be in charge and then I will see you on my return. Thanks.